Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class of Architectural Drawing and Reading. Next, we are going to study Chapter 9 Architectural Working Drawings. The content of this chapter is divided into 6 sections, which are respectively: Overview of Building Construction Drawings, General Description of Architectural Design, and General Layout Plan, Architectural Plan, Architectural Elevation, Architectural Section, Architectural Detail. First, we will explain the overview of building construction drawings. In architectural construction drawing design, let's take a look at what knowledge objectives we need to master in this section. 1. Familiarize yourself with the composition and functions of a house. 2. Understand the generation and classification of construction drawings. 3. Master the content and functions of construction drawings. 4. Master the commonly used symbols and legends in construction drawings. Buildings we are very familiar with have always been around us. From the ancient Chinese military architecture, the Great Wall, to the modern China's tallest skyscraper, the Shanghai Tower, with a height of 632 meters. None of these do not showcase the Chinese people's architectural wisdom and their spirit of continuous progress and meticulous craftsmanship. Whether it is a skyscraper or a low-rise villa, although the forms and volumes of the buildings are different, the structural composition of a building is basically similar. What parts does a building consist of, and how does a designer express his design thinking? P4. Building types. Buildings can usually be divided into productive buildings according to their usage nature, such as industrial buildings, and agricultural buildings. Non-productive buildings, such as civil buildings. Among them, civil buildings can be further divided into residential buildings and public buildings according to the building's use functions. Residential buildings refer to the buildings that provide people with living and accommodation, such as houses, dormitories, apartments, hotels, etc. Public buildings are the buildings for people to carry out various social activities, such as shopping malls, schools, hospitals, office buildings, bus stations, cinemas and theaters, etc. Buildings can also be divided into mass buildings and large buildings. According to the building's scale and quantity, mass buildings refer to buildings with a relatively large similarity in the number of constructions, such as residences, dormitories, stores, hospitals, schools, etc. Large buildings refer to buildings with a relatively small number of constructions, but a large volume of a single building, such as large-scale stadiums, cinemas and theaters, railway stations, airports, etc. Composition of the house and its function. All kinds of buildings, despite their usage requirements. Spatial combination, shape treatment, structural form, construction mode, and the size and everything have their own characteristics. But the basic structure is similar. A building mainly has a foundation, the ground, wall beams, a column, stairs, the floor, doors and windows, and the roof and other parts. They are in different position and plays a different role. Marivoa. General building, besides the above main components, also contains some other accessories and facilities, such as water or open ditch, plinth cornice, an awning, the balcony, a rain pipe, air duct, trash can, etc. The basic building blocks are usually 1. Foundation, 2. Wall, 3. Floor, 4. Stairs, 5. Roof, 6. Doors and windows, 7. Apron, 8. Parapet wall, etc. Production of construction drawings and its classification. Build a house. Need to experience design and the construction process. General house design process. There are 2 stages: the preliminary design phase and construction drawing design phase. For large and complex projects, a technical design stage can be added according to their characteristics and needs to solve technical issues, such as coordination among various trades, generation of construction drawings. Architectural construction drawings are produced through schematic design, preliminary design, and finally construction drawing design. A. The schematic design drawing in the schematic design stage, referred to as schematic design for short. B. The preliminary design drawing in the preliminary design stage, referred to as preliminary design drawing for short, or the expanded preliminary design drawing. C. The technical design drawing in the technical design stage. D. The design drawing in the construction drawing design stage, referred to as architectural construction drawing for short. Classification of construction drawings. Classification of building construction drawings. 1. Architectural construction drawings, referred to as JZ for short. These mainly express the internal and external shapes, dimensions, structural construction, material specifications, and construction requirements of the building. The basic drawings include the general layout plan, architectural plans, elevations, sections, and architectural details. 2. Structural construction drawings, abbreviated as, primarily express the planar layout of various load-bearing components, the types, sizes, construction methods of components, and the requirements of other professions for structural design, etc. Basic drawings include structural specifications, foundation drawings, structural plan views, and component details. 3. Equipment construction drawings, abbreviated as equipment construction. Equipment construction drawings include building water supply and drainage construction drawings, heating and ventilation construction drawings, and electrical lighting construction drawings. P9. Content and function of construction drawings. Content of architectural construction drawings. These express the positioning of the building, internal layout, external shape and detailed construction, interior and exterior decoration, as well as some fixed equipment and construction requirements. They must be consistent with structural and equipment construction drawings. Architectural construction drawings generally include drawing list, Architectural design specifications. General layout plan. Architectural plans. Elevations. Sections. Architectural details. And door and window tables, etc. Construction drawing use. As the basis for construction payoff, masonry foundation and walls. Laying floor slabs. The roof. Stairs. Install doors and windows. Interior and exterior decoration. And budgeting. And the basis of construction organization plan. 4. Common symbols and legends in construction drawings. 1. Positioning axis lines. These are important references for construction positioning of building walls, pouring of columns and beams, and installation of components. When constituting walls, it is stipulated that the main load-bearing components should have their positioning axis lines drawn and numbered. For non-load-bearing walls or secondary load-bearing components, additional positioning axis lines are compiled. The positioning axis lines are drawn with thin dotted lines, and at their ends, fine solid line circles with a diameter of 8 mm are drawn, and the axis numbers are written. In the circles, it is stipulated that the vertical axis numbers are written in Arabic numerals and are numbered sequentially from left to right. The horizontal axis numbers are written in Latin letters, except I, O, Z, and are numbered sequentially from bottom to top. The numbering of the additional positioning axes is expressed in fractions. The denominator represents the numbering of the previous axis, and the numerator represents the numbering of the additional axis. Dimensions and elevation. The elevation is a form of size to mark building height direction, which can be divided into absolute elevation and relative elevation. All are in meters. Absolute elevation is the height dimension, measured with the average sea level of the Yellow Sea near Qingdao as the 0 point. It is only used in the general building plan. Relative elevation is the height dimension measured with the main indoor floor of the building as the 0 point. General layout plan, outdoor elevation symbols with 2 decimal places. On the plan, elevation symbols. For positive numbers, the plus sign is not noted. For negative numbers, the minus sign must be noted. Elevation symbols on the plan. For positive numbers, the plus sign is not noted. For negative numbers, the minus sign must be noted. Keep 3 decimal places. For elevation symbols on elevations and sections, the side close to the leader line is slightly longer. Special cases. Marked when there is not enough space. Index symbols and detail symbols. In construction drawings, due to the large size of buildings, the plans, elevations, and sections of the building are all drawn with small scales, and thus some parts cannot be clearly expressed and need to be drawn in detail to express them. For the parts that need to be expressed with detailed drawings, the index symbol shall be marked, and at the detailed drawing, annotate detail symbols. Detailed drawing and indexed drawing done on the same drawing. The denominator represents the detail. In this picture, the numerator indicates the detail number. Detailed drawing and indexed drawing are not on the same drawing. The denominator represents the number of the drawing on which the detail is located. The numerator indicates the detail number. Legends and codes. In building construction drawings, a large number of building components, fittings, and materials should all be represented by using the legends and codes specified in national standards. Compass. First, the diameter of the circle should preferably be 24 mm and be drawn with a thin solid line. The width at the end of the pointer is 3 mm. Second, on the general layout plan and the ground floor building plan, a compass is generally drawn to indicate the orientation of the building. That concludes the content of this section. Thank you for watching, everyone.